Yes, it's already did one other valve thing this morning. Here did another. So why, this is in reference to, if you watch this video, I talk about the flat structure and how powerful it can be when done right. The reason people don't do this is because you have to do it from the first time you hire. And you have to be willing to fire a lot of people because a lot of people just won't work in this. I had one guy, at one point, there's a sound person who's super senior, super talented, and we're like, hey, we really need this stuff. He's like, I'm not doing it. You're not my boss. No one can tell me what to do. I'm just going to go make fart noises for 6 months. And then after 6 months, I got fired. It wasn't quite that bad, but yeah, he was. But like, you just have to hire for it. And senior people aren't necessarily all the same. So here at Straight Bombay, it's a mistake I made. Was we hired senior people and we kind of had this, like, we don't have time. I'm a really big proponent of, you do not hire junior people unless you have people there to train them and teach them. Otherwise, you're just throwing them to the wolves and they're going to get a bunch of bad practices and not understand what they're doing. Their formative years early on, you want to have senior people there training them. So you have to hire for that. We try to hire that for that at Straight Bombay. We try to hire senior people, but ends up there is a really large gap between someone who's worked for 10 years at a place and somebody who's owned things, executed on things, and cares for 10 years. Now, I don't want to bash anybody here because it's my fault. I hired wrong people for what we needed or what the fit is. I often get this like, oh my God, we just got to hire somebody. Oh my God, my God, my God, my God. Everybody I can. So they always tell a phrase, women hear this a lot, right? You can't fix him because dating, you think you can fix this guy who's a jerk. You can't fix employees. It's a horrible thing to say. You can't get somebody. You can't look at somebody who has a bunch of problems and go, oh well, but when they're here, we'll fix that. It just doesn't work, right? I don't know why do they never say about guys fixing women? Guys are a lost cause. I don't know how women date us. Okay, but back to the point. You have to hire for it, and you have to hire that kind of person. So we hire senior people at Straight Bombay, and not all of them fit into our culture of being able to be self-reliant and kind of own things and really pick the right things to work on. And that was a failure on my part, 100%. The people we have now, man, they all do this because if you do this right, you have people who just jump in and say, there's a problem, I'm going to learn how to fix it. If I don't know how to fix it, I'm going to look for the right person to help me fix it, or I'm going to take it. Like, often bugs are, somebody will be like, I don't know how to fix this bug, but I know how to research so that the person who is going to fix this bug will have the most information about it and they can fix it better. All right, and that's about distilling groups down and hiring right and getting lucky. Like, I've always been me, and so like Valve is just the absolute perfect fit for me, right? In the sense of like they just gave me a bunch of autonomy and let me run with things. But for some people that's like scary or bad, or I don't know. I'm stupid, and it just fit. It just fit, right? But so it's really hard. Like an established company, it's really hard to change to say you're going to do this, that you're going to kind of make this pivot and be more flat and be more spread out. There's management that goes with that goes away. Management isn't like, we all like to rail against management, but they actually do some things. And there's also then, how do you decide bonuses? How do you decide pay? How do you decide pay increases? Like, all of that has to be considered in this because that has to come from it. That's why the stack ranking of your peers comes up, because you need somebody who actually has information to be able to make these choices, right? So it's just not as easy as saying like, hey, we're all gonna be a flat company. It's really, really hard. And out of all the places that do it, only Valve is the one that I know that was successful at doing it. And so that's a testament to some of the early employees there that allowed that to happen, really, right? Because they didn't do the, hey, I'm been here longer than you have, I deserve something or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, it just doesn't really work. And I don't think it really worked for us. And we really weren't flat. And then at one point we had somebody who came in and kind of weaponized the idea that I wasn't allowed to tell people what to do. And I'm like, no. I'm the lead designer or creative on this. I'm going to change how this is being done. And this is like a whole weird thing, right? And so it's hard. It's hard. I think now that I think about it is I wouldn't ever say those words out loud. And instead just empower people and spread the workload and make sure that they have autonomy and ability to fail, but yet learn from that and just keep growing that way. I don't know. But it is not an easy thing to emulate.